Sad ste uživo. Pazite šta pjevate. Još malo se primiti. Još malo. Ovako, malo. Eto, onda mi možeš vidjeti lako, ne? Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtotra Shatashi Shimad Bhagavad Swami His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jayo Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtotra Shatashi Shimad Bhagavad Swami His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Iskon Vartmanacharya Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Iskon BBT Founder Acharya His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Prem Sikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Gita Govardhana Ki Jai Mathura Dama Ki Jai Bhagavad Dama Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dama Ki Jai Jagannath Swami Ki Jai Vrindavan Dama Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Dalasi Maharani Ki Jai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Gaur Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Oh, glories to the assembled devotees, oh, glories to the assembled devotees, oh, glories to the assembled devotees, oh, glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga, oh, glories to His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada.
Lepo pozdravljam se na še enem nedeljskem programu. Kot vedno smo tudi danes začeli z duhovno glasbo v Bhažani, tokrat pod vodstvom glasbenika, predavatelja v eni osebi, to je njegova milost Akrura Prabhu. Kot rečeno, imel bo tudi predavanje. Akrura Prabhu je v bistvu eden izmed pionirjev zavesti Krišne v bivši Jugoslaviji. Verjetno tudi kar nekaj od nas tu je prav zaradi njega to, ker je eden prvih bhakt, ki je prišel pridigati v Slovenijo. Na začetku, v samih začetkih zavesti Krišne v Jugoslaviji oziroma Srbiji je skrbel za prevajanje knjig, tako da velik delež oziroma zasluge nosi prav on. Drugače pa ga poznamo kot zelo toplega, odprtega bhakto, že 15 let tudi poskuša navdihniti bhakte in pomagati v njihovem osebnem duhovnem razvoju kot coach. In pa vedno rad prime v roke kitaro in kaj zapoje za Krišno zadovoljstvo in tudi naše zadovoljstvo. Tako da zdaj bomo pa še prisluhnili njegovim novim besedam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Who doesn't speak English? We need somebody to translate for those who don't speak English. You can do it in this corner, there.
Torej, Akrura Prabhu bo govoril v angleščini, imamo pa tam bhakta Andreja, ki bo prevajal v slovenščino.
Okay, because we are going live on Facebook page called Bhagavad Gita, and there is 500,000 people. So they don't speak Slovenian. I also don't speak Slovenian, but they don't speak Croatian or Serbian, so we speak in English. This has to be a little louder because of this recording. A little bit louder, if possible. Because it doesn't record well, they cannot hear. How many of you know the title of this lecture? Okay, there are 6. I think it was announced 6 loving exchanges between devotees. And it's based on the verse from Upadeshamrita, or Nectar of Instruction, by Srila Rupa Goswami. He was a saint and a sage, and before he was a minister in the government, but he gave up his government post and his opulent life and became a mendicant, became a follower of Lord Chaitanya, and became a teacher of spirituality, spiritual life, teacher of Bhakti Yoga. He wrote many books, And one of the most popular books nowadays is Nectar of Instruction, or Upadeshamrita. And our today's discussion, our today's talk, is based on the fourth verse from this book. It's a book that has only 11 verses, but it has commentaries by our Srila Prabhupada, our spiritual master. He has given long commentaries, so we don't have it in Slovenian, but you can read it online in English on the link called vanipedia.org or vanisource.org. Yeah, vanisource.org. You will find all the books. And vedabase.com. Vedabase.com. You can find this book. It's a wonderful book, especially for those who want to practice more seriously Krishna consciousness and learn some techniques and some secrets how to start very nicely advancing in spiritual life, in bhakti yoga or in Krishna consciousness. So I will say this verse in Sanskrit and then I will explain about each of the 6 items. Dadati pratigrinati Guyam akyati prichati Bhunkte bhujayate chaiva Shadvida priti lakshanam. Now I would like you to join me in repeating each word and we can recite Sanskrit together. So, Dadati 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 Pratigrinati 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 Guyam 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 Akyati 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 Prichati 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 Bhunkte 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 Bhujayate 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 Chaiva 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 Shad 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 Vida 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 Priti 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 Lakshanam Lakshanam. Let's do line by line. Dadati pratigrinati Dadati pratigrinati Dadati pratigrinati Dadati pratigrinati Guyamakyati prichati Guyamakyati prichati Guyamakyati prichati Guyamakyati prichati Bhunkte bhujayate chaiva Bhunkte bhujayate chaiva Bhunkte bhujayate chaiva Bhunkte bhujayate chaiva Shadvida priti lakshanam Shadvida priti lakshanam Shadvida priti lakshanam Shadvida priti lakshanam Dadati pratigrinati Dadati pratigrinati Guyamakyati prichati Guyamakyati prichati Bhunkte bhujayate chaiva Bhunkte bhujayate chaiva Shadvida priti lakshanam Shadvida priti lakshanam. Thank you, very nice. Dadati. You don't have to repeat now. It's just my beginning of the class. Dadati means giving gifts in charity. Davati in Croatian. How is it in Slovenian? Dajati. Daya is also, Daya means also charity. It's a Sanskrit word, so you have in your Slovenian word, you have a Sanskrit word. Giving. Giving is a quality of highly developed people, of people with higher consciousness, people who are selfless, people who have spiritual qualities, and people who are not afraid to give. These people have abundance mentality, and they know that there is plenty of resources for everyone, so they are not afraid to give. And they don't think that the more you give, the less you have. They think the more you give, the more you get, so that you can give even more. They believe in God, and they know that God is Bhagavad, which means that He has all the opulences, and that He provides all opulences for His devoted servants and His children. He is providing food for every living entity, animals who eat a lot, like hundreds of kilos per day, like elephant. And in the nature, actually, there is no scarcity. Thank you. Oh, fantastic. Can you open it, please? Oh, you have in Slovenia. Somebody told me we don't have it. Please open it, sorry. But yes, it's, I can read Slovenian, but I will laugh. It's great. Oh, I can fully recommend this book to all of you. You have it in Slovenian. How much it is? 3 euro? 5 euro? How? 8 euro. Okay, you can give 10. 12. You can give 15. That's nice. 12 euro. This 12 euro, this is worth 1,200 euro or 12 million euro. This book will change your life. We have two sages here, Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatana Goswami, brothers, who are actually, thank you, who are here reading and writing books for all of us, and they put all on their hard drive 500 years ago and saved it for us. And now we have it electronically and as a hard copy. It was very hot in India, so they don't have much clothes here. They only have one loincloth, and they have nice necklace. Here is this paper, it's falling on the floor. One is writing, one is reading, and they have written many, many books about devotion to Krishna, devotion to God, self-realization. So I highly recommend this book. And if you read this book, and if you have any questions, you can contact me on gitaseva108@gmail.com or Facebook Gita Seva, 2 words. So, are you afraid to give? People have a hard time giving things that they don't need. What to speak of giving something that is most dear to them. Okay, let's be honest, and you raise your hand. If you have things in your house that you don't need, but you hesitate to donate, you hesitate to give away. So half people are honest. I'm joking, it's just half people have things in their house. So, if you want to develop your giving muscles, you can start to give what you don't need. And then later you can start giving things that you need or that you really are attached to. You love these things. Why should you give something that is most dear to you? It is described in Srimad Bhagavatam that if you give what is most dear to you, you earn eternal life. So I think it's worth it to give what's most dear to us. You get eternal life in return. This is the promise of the acharyas, of the spiritual teachers throughout the history. Of course, you might believe this or not. This is your choice, but they say like this. And so now, when we give something, we say, oh, I have given charity and I would like my name to be there on the temple, I have given donation or something. So we like to take some credit for giving, but we come to this world out of the womb of our mother, naked, without anything, and then we get things throughout life, and we go, we die usually dressed, very nicely dressed, in the, how do you say this box? Coffin, in the coffin. Or if you are more sophisticated, you get burned completely and your dust is thrown in Ljubljana, in Ganga, so that you are sure that also your dust goes to a spiritual destination. But in between we possess something, we claim proprietorship, but actually it doesn't belong to us. So what can we give if nothing belongs to us, if everything belongs to God? We can give what He has entrusted us, what He has given to us, and be happy to give, be happy to share. It is in our nature that we like to serve and to give. This is described as our dharma, or our eternal characteristic, or our eternal occupation. So if we don't do this, if we don't find our preferred activity, then it's very difficult to be happy. Many people are lost, they don't know what to do, they do many things, but those who have found their mission, they're very happy. And they develop skills, and they develop expertise in this area, in one area, and then they become happy to contribute and to give in this way. So, you can choose actually what you want to give, and how you want to give, and how you want to contribute. But if we don't give, if we don't serve, if we don't contribute, we cannot be happy. Because this is, according to the scriptures, major part of our nature. In the materialistic society, they say, become a go-getter. That means you go out and get something, usually make money. But now there is a new movement, and they say, become a go-giver. Go and give something. Go and give something. So how can you can start your day by asking yourself, what can I give today? What can I give today? This is a nice way to start the day. How can I serve today? Whom I want to make happy today by my service and my gifts. And if you like to give, then is it possible maybe to close these windows and open somewhere else? Maybe the door, because there's talking. So if you really like to develop your ability to give, you can fix somehow maybe the door. Huh? But if you like to this one can stay because nobody is under this window.
We will tell them to be quiet.
Okay.
Somebody can close.
Who? Iris. Who will tell? No, she didn't.
Iris,
she didn't tell them. Maybe somebody more like a boss. Oh, Madan Kishore Prabhu, okay. It will be. So, if you really like to develop your giving muscles, people who come here to Krishna consciousness, to the temple, to the church, to the mosque, usually people who are good people, they like to help, they like to serve. So I believe you like to give. But this is something that you can develop. You can develop your giving muscles, and you can actually get unlimited resources if you want to give. Those who like to give, God supplies them with tons of resources so that you can give. So now you have to choose what you want to give. In our Krishna consciousness movement, we try to give these wonderful books. We try to give food, prasadam, to the needy, to the homeless, and to everyone else. We try to give transcendental knowledge. We try to give inspiration. We try to give festivals. And whatever people can reciprocate with their contribution of service or donation or knowledge or intelligence, then we accept very gladly, and we are very, very grateful. Another verse from the scriptures, from Srimad Bhagavatam, describes what can we give. What can we give to God? What can we give to the world? What can we give to other people? Pranair, artair, diya, vacha. You can give pranair, it means for your whole life. If this is too much for you, if you cannot do that, you can give your wealth, artair. If you have a lot of money or different kind of material resources, you can give part of it or all of it. If you give all of it, then you have to leave something for yourself, so you can't give all of it, but you can give part of it, half of it, or whatever you can, or whatever you're inspired to do. And so you can give artair, your wealth. If you cannot do that, you can give your intelligence. Many people, they come here and they say, intelligently, they say, this wall should be repaired, and that should be repaired, and this can be better. If you are an architect and you come here, you say, oh, I would redecorate of this house in a different way. Then some people give their intelligence by translating books. They use their ability to translate, and we need also a lot of translation. There is more books to translate into Slovenian language. So you use your intelligence. You can use your intelligence. If you're convinced about these essential truths described in the scriptures, you can try to convince others with logic and reason and help them to develop their faith in God and in the scriptures, in Bhagavad Gita. So you can use your intelligence and vacha if you cannot give your life, you don't have money or any other material resources, and you don't think you have a lot of intelligence, then vacha, you can use the words, you can tell people, Žibertova is there, you can go there, and here is, you can give them an invitation for the Sunday program, or for a festival, and you can use the words to tell people that there is something there and you can check it out. So when you ask yourself, what can I give? You can make a list, what can you give? And every day you don't have to think, you just look at your list and start giving and be happy at the end of the day. Pratigrinati, receiving. Second, love in exchange is receiving. How do you receive? We all know how we should receive anything we get. You tell me. With gratitude. But gratitude doesn't mean, I think this door needs oil. So until I have a very free advice, unsolicited advice about the door. Until you get the machine oil, I tried it, olive oil works. And I'm sure you have olive oil in the kitchen. So this is something that you can implement immediately. Put olive oil in the door who is squeaking during the class. So, gratitude. We all know to say thank you, and sometimes this thank you can be very dry. Thank you. So, but how many of you are helping with Food for Life here? Or helped in the future, in the past? Okay, so I don't know if you know about this, but Priyavrata Prabhu, who is the global director, he was once, I learned from him that for donors, for Food for Life, people who donate their hard-earned money to the Food for Life project, and Food for Life is free distribution of food, that you should thank 7 times. 7 times thank. It doesn't mean 7 times saying thank you. thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And you say, I follow what Akrura Dasa said, I thank them 7 times. No, 7 different times. 7 varieties of gratitude. You can thank them by saying thank you. You can thank them by hugging them. You can thank them by giving them something in return, some expression of your gratitude, something tangible. You can thank them in the local newsletter. You can thank them on the website, local website. You can put on the bulletin board and thank them, mention their name, put their picture, and you can thank them. Maybe the best way to thank them is to tell them, you are so kind, you are helping so much, please count on me, I will always be here for you. So this will be different thank you than just saying thank you. So when we get something, we don't think, of course I should get this, I am really, really cool guy, and you know, I really deserve it. No, we don't think we deserve anything. We just think that God is so kind, He is inspiring these people to give me something, so I should show my gratitude and I should reciprocate. So when we get something, we should reciprocate a lot, Actually, it's better to always give more than you get. You will be more happy if you do that. How many of you have this experience? When you give more than you get, you are more happy? Raise your arms very high, so I can see you. Okay, so that's 50-50 almost, a little bit less bravos. Someone lazy, they may want to put their hand up. So, receiving with gratitude and being very enthusiastic to reciprocate. You have obliged me by your nice gift, a nice service. I want to be always here for you. Guya makyati pričati, confidential conversation. Confidential conversation doesn't mean whatever your friend tells you, you immediately publish on the internet tomorrow. You say, oh, my friend is in Maya or something. No, confidential means that it's private, and for confidential conversation what is needed is trust. And it's very hard to earn trust of people, and it's very quick to lose it. It's very easy to lose it, and you can lose it very quickly. So trust is the glue of relationships. Now if you translate lepak, how do you say glue? Lepilo. If you say lepilo, better find other word, because it's in relationships lepilo. In English it sounds better, but it's a connecting substance of relationships, or connecting ingredient of relationships. Trust, building trust. So in order to have a confidential conversation with devotees and with guests, with people, it's very important to be aware, to know how to build trust. If somebody's trust is important to you, then it's worth it taking time to learn how to gain trust and how to give trust. So I will give you a few practical things. There is 2 things that are important in building trust, and each of them has 2 sub-categories or sub-points. Character and competence. You can have a high character, but if you don't have competence, people cannot trust you. You can be a very caring person, you can be a very polite and kind dentist. And when people come to your, how do you say, surgery, you you hug them, you ask them how is your family, you give them juice, you give them a nice seat to wait. Then you have a very fancy equipment, very expensive, but somehow you always pull out the wrong tooth. So your character is nice, you are very caring, sincere, but you are not competent. And some other dentist, he may be very expert in pulling out the right tooth, but he's always late. He always says, "Oh, the materials have become more expensive, so always charges you more," and he's maybe criticizing other people or other dentists, and you also cannot trust him 100%. You cannot trust him. It's questionable character. So two aspects of character are care, your sincere desire to help, and your example, your personal example. If you show a good example of what you say and what you teach, people can trust you. And if you show that you care. I don't care how much you know until I know how much you care. This saying that shows that knowledge is not enough, but we need to show genuine interest in people. And for competence, you need to know something and know how to do something. Know how to do something. So have skills. So have knowledge and skills. Then you are a competent person. What is that sound? Is it the phone? Now, confidential conversations that devotees have are about spiritual advancement. They may be about Krishna, about relationship with Krishna, about how we develop our relationship with Krishna, about relationships of Krishna's pure devotees with Krishna. There is a very high philosophy and books that describe Krishna's pastimes. But also this conversation can be about how we can overcome our inner obstacles. And sometimes we are very shy to speak about it because we don't trust people, we are not sure if they can help us, or we are not sure if they will keep it confidential. They might say to other people. So in order for people to open up to you, you have to be very confidential, and you have to be willing to help them, and you have to not judge them. If you judge them, then you cannot help them. If you judge people, you cannot help them. If you criticize them, you cannot help them. You need to have this wonderful attitude to help and to be able to understand that they are imperfect, but they are working on becoming perfect and becoming better. Bhukte gojayate chaiva. Just a moment, I want to see. Giving food, giving prasada, food that has been offered to Krishna, and receiving food. We like to feed people. Our teacher Srila Prabhupada started this movement by feeding hippies. Wonderful food that he himself prepared, dal, chapatis, rice, and he would serve himself, and after all the hippies are gone, he would wash everything. He was very old when he came to America, but he did that. And sometimes Krishna consciousness is known as kitchen religion, because food is so important. We have given up all kinds of sense gratification, but Prabhupada said you can eat. And then we saw that we have some space to enjoy food, but we saw that after so many years of overeating, we are getting sick. Our younger devotees don't have this problem. They jump around very much and they digest everything. But those who are older are having problems with their health, and sometimes also digestion goes down. But food also is some people's language of love. If you feed me, I believe you love me. And if you feed me vegan and gluten-free food, then I believe that you care about my health too. Have you seen, some of you have seen, I'm sure some of you have seen the cartoon on Facebook or anywhere. I think on Facebook there is a cartoon picture that there is 7, 8 beggars coming to the door of a person, and it's during Christmas time, so everybody is very charitable during Christmas time. And the person is opening the door, and all the beggars are saying different things. One is saying, I'm gluten-free, I'm not eating nuts, please, vegan food. And so they're very special beggars. They're very specific about what they want. And the person is standing completely confused. How can I please all these beggars? They are all very highly educated about healthy food, and they don't eat just anything, although they are beggars. So now, nowadays it's becoming modern. Also, people are coming to our temple, and before, when we joined, we never asked, is it gluten-free or is it vegan? No, we just said, just put more, please. But now people sometimes ask, and sometimes people who practice yoga are a little bit shocked by bhakti yogis, who actually had a very huge plates of food, and also after 15 minutes, some yogi is talking to another yogi, and first, when there was serving of these wonderful meals, they have seen like a hill of food on the plate of a young red-faced brahmachari, orange. And after 10 minutes talking to another yogi, they look and the plate is empty. And people are coming around with these buckets, and the brahmachari says, more, come on, I'm working hard. So, don't be shocked. These devotees have given up everything. This is the only thing that is left. But don't worry, soon they will become sick, like me. I have become sick after 30 years of overeating, and now I'm becoming a little bit like a yogi. So I'm a little bit gluten-free and a little bit vegan, not always, but most of the time, because my body is protesting and giving me some trouble. If you want to, I have one tip for digestion. If you want to digest the food better, then dance in Kirtan, and especially jump in Kirtan. Don't be shy. We don't care if you're skinny or not. Whatever, just jump. Jump in Kirtan, everything will be digested. It's very healthy. This is not my humor or speculation. One devotee once asked Prabhupada, he said, people are not interested in spiritual life. You know, we try to give them spiritual life. They say, we are interested in health. And Prabhupada said, introduce this dancing as health dancing. Shri Shri Panchatattva ki jai. So Panchatattva is always dancing. And they don't have weight problems. They always have a very nice line. How many of you know how to cook? Oh my God. Come on, please, more learn how to cook. If you cook, then please cook with love, cook with devotion, cook with higher consciousness, because the food you cook, if people eat it, it will affect their consciousness. And also cook with meditating on how to offer this to the Lord and how to please Him. sometimes I visit our family people, our families, and family of course means husband and wife. So I always advise a husband to praise his wife, especially her cooking. And then he says, but sometimes he just completely forgets to put the salt in the khichdi. Salt. You know what is khichdi? It's dal and rice, lentils and rice together, very healthy. And I say, this is what you can say to your wife. My dear wife, today there is no salt in the khichdi, but there is a lot of bhakti. I can feel that you prepare this with devotion to the Lord and to your husband, and I'm grateful to you. And just please bring some black salt or Himalayan salt. Don't bring this white salt. How many of you eat only black salt and Himalayan salt? Oh, you are so humble. You eat also white salt. It's not healthy, please. Don't eat white salt. So we are always grateful when we receive prasadam, even if it's not perfect from the material point of view. We are grateful. And giving prasadam, we like to feed people, we like to serve. Prasadam, we like to share. Yesterday we had a meeting of people who were in this temple for many years in the past, and then everybody brought, or some of them brought some preparations that they prepared at home, so everybody shared with others different preparations. It was a nice exchange. And then finally we have receiving. How to receive prasadam. We want to receive prasadam with gratitude. We want to receive prasadam with the understanding that this is the food offered to God, and it has the power to purify my consciousness. Simply by eating you can make spiritual advancement, because it's not an ordinary food. And there is many stories. In Hungary I have one magazine, I have to read these stories, that the glories of prasadam. So when I get this, I can share it with you, or scan it or something. Or maybe I also have I will see, maybe I have an electronic copy. But it's very powerful. Taking prasadam can actually save your life. It's amazing. It's so powerful. And that's why we insist so much on this. And we always, any program we have prasadam. And any program that we do, we have prasadam. Even if we go for an interview on the media, we bring prasadam. If we go to the doctor, we also bring prasadam. Always we give prasadam to everybody. Once in Croatia, we had been invited for 2 programs. One was about rich people, because our temple president, Dayalu Prabhu, was quite rich before he joined, and he left everything and gave the car to the temple and a lot of money. And then this host asked him, why did you leave your life and your wealth? And he was explaining. And then another program in Zagreb was about bald-headed people. Čelevi, how do you say? Kako? Yeah, plešasti people. And so we came with freshly shaven head, and we spoke about why we had this hairstyle. And my former wife Titiksha, she was also in the program, and I was very confused then in this program. The camera caught me when I was swallowing, because I was nervous. So they caught me and they showed how I'm swallowing, very scared and stage frightened. So I didn't do much there, but why I'm saying this is that this moderator, Mr. Denis Latin, he was a real fan of prasadam. We brought a lot of prasadam, and then some people took, some didn't. And then we would see him in the back, packing all the rest of prasadam, bringing home. He really loved it. He became addicted. So it's very good for your spiritual life if you become addicted to prasadam. And you will have opportunity today. Thank you very much for listening. We can take one question and then we go to the next part of the program, or 1.5 question. Who has the best question? This is the best way to not have questions, because everybody is shy. So if you ask who has the best question, then nobody wants to raise their hand, because they don't want to say, I have a best question. But some people say, I have a best question. But you are all humble. Anyway, yes?
What does it mean then to honor prasada?
To take with respect, with higher consciousness, that this is God's mercy. Prasadam also means mercy. And not to let it fall on the floor. Once Krishna saw a grain of rice on the floor, he took it and touched his forehead and ate it. If when you lift it there is some dust or some grass, then you do like this, and then put it. So we don't throw away prasadam. In Hungary, one my friend, she was struggling for years to convince devotees that don't allow guests to throw prasadam in the garbage. There should be a separate bucket for the remnants. If you cannot eat it, just put it there, and then we can distribute it to the fishes or animals, or put in the nature. But we don't throw prasadam in the garbage. Out of respect, because it's not different from Krishna. It's spiritual. Okay? Very nice question. Thank you. Yes?
Can you please just repeat 2 subcategories of competence?
2 what?
Subcategories.
Of competence. Knowledge and skills. Knowledge and skills. Okay. Thank you very much for coming. It's Sunday afternoon. You could be swimming or skiing, but you can come here, and it's great to have you here. Please have a wonderful time here, and all the best. Hare Krishna.